Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. A couple of days back, Raven decided to sort of out of the blue tease some of their upcoming features and updates they've got planned for Warzone. This includes the return of a fan favorite feature from Warzone and even a slight teaser for the return of Rebirth Island happening later on this year. And this got me thinking, how many future, updates do we actually know about for Warzone? Long-term updates, maybe some more short-term ones, because believe it or not, they've actually gone through and teased or revealed or hinted at several different major gameplay updates or major features either debuting within Warzone or potentially returning over the course of the various seasonal updates that we've got on the horizon. And the first one we have here might honestly be a little bit controversial because back when we got to talk with the devs prior to Season 1 dropping and Warzone dropping in general, they did talk a bit about movement. Obviously, movement this year is a big improvement and step up from last year with Modern Warfare 2. We of course got the slide canceling back. We've got the tack sprint, various different perks and benefits for mantling, sliding, tack stance, all sorts of stuff like that. One thing that is currently missing in Warzone right now, though, is sort of a bunny hopping mechanic, at least one that's as smooth as it was back in Warzone 1 and MW 2019, where it was very easy to sort of tether that into your gameplay and string slide cancels into jump shots, into bunny hops, so on and so forth. And the devs have actually said, and they sort of alluded to the fact that they are looking into a bunny hopping mechanic potentially returning here in Warzone in the future. Now, it's not a 100% guarantee. It was just simply something that was on their radar, they said, but they are well aware of a large amount of players having a want for that to be in the game, adding another sort of skill gap into the movement meta and into the different engagements you can take. Obviously, when you factor in another thing like that into fights, it does create that extra layer of, hey, good players are clearly going to be able to excel if they can master these things and put themselves a step above the competition if they care enough to put in the time and build that muscle memory and get these mechanics down to a T. So that could be a very interesting potential future movement update coming to Warzone and maybe even MW3 multiplayer as well. We'll have to see what time tells us there. Obviously, we know for a fact we've got two returning major maps later on in 2024. Fortune's Keep and Rebirth. This was confirmed back at Call of Duty Next as sort of like a surprise announcement, and we know for sure that Fortune's Keep is going to be coming first, and we are going to be seeing the debut of Fortune's Keep here within Season 2 of MW3 Warzone. So right around the corner, in just a couple of days time, Season 2 will be kicking off, and according to the various teasers that have surfaced and all the reveals up until this point, this is not going to be a one-to-one version of Fortune's Keep that we had back, during Warzone 1. Instead, it's going to be Fortune's Keep at its base, but with some reworked areas, some newly updated areas, adding in some lore and some changes there for overall gameplay, which should spice things up a little bit for sure, and make it feel a little bit more fresh rather than just a one-to-one copy and paste. Plus, with the new movement, things like Mountaineer, the mantling system being improved, this map could be pretty fun to play. And then, of course, later on in the year, we also have Rebirth. I would imagine maybe Season 4, Season 5 as sort of a tie-in to Black Ops Gulf War dropping this fall, obviously, since Rebirth initially debuted during Cold War back in Warzone 1. And we did see that first teaser, of course, from Raven a few days back, showing off the lighthouse sort of area of Rebirth. It's a very, very minor teaser. It's not showing anything too crazy for Rebirth itself. Obviously, what it is showing, though, is another now confirmed future major update for Warzone in the return of the Specialist bonus. This is something that we had throughout Warzone 1, and I always loved it. I mean, even dating back to multiplayer when Specialist was first introduced, having the ability to get every single perk in the game and just feel like a super soldier is so much fun. Like, in my opinion, outside of the first Haunting event for Warzone back in MW 2019, peak Warzone for me has to be when we had Nakatomi Tower. You could go land there, gear up, get Specialist bonus, get advanced UAVs, a ton of cash, and then you just go and you fry the entire lobby. That was so much fun, and the fact that the Specialist bonus is going to be returning here this year, I think is going to be really cool. Just, I mean, with all the perks that we have now and all the different, gear options that translate over from MW3, there's a lot of diversity. It's very tough. Do I want to choose this in perk 1 or this in perk 2 or this in perk 3? There's some good competition and good balance between the tiers. So to be able to throw that balance and that decision away and just say, hey, I've got every perk in the game, I mean, that's going to be awesome and extremely, extremely powerful. Very curious to see how that's fully going to be implemented here. By the way, as we're going through all these previews and upcoming updates, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I'm your one-stop shop for all things going on in Call of Duty, whether it is news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, it's all here. So feel free to subscribe and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. As always, much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. Now, Raven also teased another upcoming update, and this one's actually short term. It should be dropping at some point during Season 2, a new quality of life update for the precision airstrikes, where now when you call it in, on the minimap, it's going to show the direction in which the airstrike is coming in from and the area where the airstrike is going to hit. So this could be a really, really cool feature that gives you more information just in regards to, are you in that zone? Because obviously the notifications can be really, really wonky. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you just don't. But then even when you do, you might not know exactly where it's going to be hitting. Do I need to run left? Do I need to run right? What's going on? This is going to be a really solid update, I think. And like I said, should be dropping at some point during Season 2. Now, you heard me reference the call that I had with various other creators and the Call of Duty developers back prior to Season 1. And in this, they did also talk about some other more short-term updates coming to Warzone in the next couple of seasons. I see a lot of questions about this all the time. Hey, what's going on with my stats? Where are the resurgence stats? Are these ever going to be tracking correctly? The devs actually did confirm that this year, obviously right now, we've got our normal combat record for just standard battle royale. However, full-on resurgence stats are currently tracking right now, and they've been tracking since day one. And we're going to see an update to the combat records that introduce the resurgence stats in Season 2. So all the data is currently being collected. Hopefully it's tracking correctly, because tracking stats in COD has really gone downhill in the past couple of years for whatever reason. But Season 2 is going to see the debut of all of our resurgence stats. And then in Season 3, we're going to see the debut of all of our plunder stats. And I do wonder if that means that by the time Season 3 comes around, plunder is essentially a mainstay mode and not so much of an LTM. Obviously, the past couple of weeks, it's been in and out of the playlist rotation, mixing and matching with lockdown here and there. But if we've got full-on plunder stats, I'd be surprised if it's a mode that's missing, you know, more than 1 week at a time, just because that seems to indicate that it's one of their main priorities and main mode options there if it's got its own stat page dedicated to it. And then a couple of the other major updates that we can expect in Warzone long term are a few things that we've discussed here and there when it comes to the future of the meta across the board. Again, something that really confuses me with Season 1 Reloaded is that update largely went against the vision here that the devs explained to us in some of these calls recently. But for the meta, they said they want over time to have a healthy sniper meta. This to me would indicate we're going to have multiple solid sniper options that allow you to one-shot knock without having to destroy a class's velocity by using explosive ammo. So multiple versions of like a cap that can one-shot, maybe a stalker that can one-shot, some upcoming new snipers that can do so as well, or just limiting the restrictions to not having explosive ammo, but instead needing to use maybe an aftermarket part or something like that that can still be aggressive and used in long distance engagements, and something like that that creates an actual thriving sniper meta and one that's not just one gun in specific. And then also Modern Warfare 2 guns. We saw some of the best options nerfed recently with things like the M13B and the ISO 9, but they did say that over time they plan on doing a major overhaul to Modern Warfare 2 guns, reducing their visual recoil, making them easier to use, changing up the way that certain attachments work so you can build them out to be more aggressive and bring them in line with a lot of the MW3 guns, which of course dominate the meta right now. So we got a couple of overhauls and future updates there that should be pretty game changing as well. And this is just what we know of so far. Raven did sort of allude to the fact that several other fan favorite features and quality of life updates from Warzone previously are going to be returning in the coming season. So we got a lot to look out for here. Of course, as anything is revealed, teased, announced in any way, shape, or form, you guys know I'll have you covered with all the details right as they happen. So stick it here for that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.